So we've taken a look at quite a few CSS techniques at this point. But beyond that, I have mentioned, Bootstrap, the Twitter Bootstrap library. So I just want to kind of demonstrate its usage so you can kind of get a feel of how it works. So what I'm going to do is first we need to import Bootstrap into our actual HTML document, the index file that we're using. And there are a few ways to do it. If you're on the Bootstrap website, you might see something on their website that says Bootstrap CDN, and you can just copy that link, the first link, where it's saying, okay, let's get the latest version of Bootstrap and drop it in. So you can copy that, and if you don't see that, you can search for Bootstrap CDN on Google, and you'll see a website called Bootstrap CDN. You can grab the CSS file that we need, that we want to import right here under the HTML category. So that's one way, but the other way, like I said, is if you go to Bootstrap's website. Currently, the way their website is designed is if you hit this Getting Started tab up here. Let me refresh this page. And then scroll down, you should see Bootstrap CDN, but their site does change over time. Either way, just grab their latest CSS copy of the file, and you can tell where it says .css, that's the right file, okay? And what we'll do is just drop it in right under the title tag. So just paste it right in there. And if I save that, we now have a CSS file being imported from the web. And if I refresh, you'll see now some of the styles automatically change. Now we're affecting things with Bootstrap automatically, and you're getting all of these features kind of for free from Bootstrap. So we can go ahead and get rid of the practice stuff that we wrote in here just to kind of keep things a little bit cleaner. And if I save it, okay, this is going to look, kind of standard. So now, for example, you could do something like this. You could say, let's wrap everything in here in a container. Now, this is from Bootstrap itself, right? So if I hit CSS here and start reading about how they, kind of do their grid system and whatnot, you'll see they have this section called containers. And you want to use their containers because that's just a good way to keep everything on a nice grid. So if I say container, and I close that, then close that div as well, and then just nest this properly. So move it over one, let's move this in one. Now everything's kind of nested properly, as you can see. If I save that and I go back and refresh it, everything gets moved over just a little bit, but now when I stretch out the page, you'll see that they're following this kind of a grid system. Everything's going to stay fairly responsive now, right? So if this is, this big, you can start to see it. And just to illustrate this a little bit better, we can do something like this. We can say, let's add Jumbotron. This is a special class from Bootstrap. Now, this may or may not work for you depending on how they update their library. But currently, the latest version has this feature called Jumbotron. If I just simply add that class, that's all I do, and refresh, now you'll see that this div is kind of sitting in its own little gray box. And so that's really cool too. We're able to immediately give some style and clean look and feel to this web page just by adding these classes, okay? And so where are these coming from? We don't have them defined in our CSS file. They are defined in the CSS file we imported from the web. And you can even just go to that URL to see the actual CSS file if you wanted to. Just paste it in, and there you go. That's the actual CSS file. And you can see how many rules we can take advantage of right there. So again, you can use this website to your advantage and read about, there's the media queries and, responsive design. You can do really cool things like create buttons pretty easily. Like I can add this class here and say button primary, and then save it. If I go back here and refresh it, now it's transformed into a button. It's got this hover state. When I hover, it'll change colors, and so on. So there's quite a few really cool pre-packaged things you can kind of read about. If you just click on their CSS link up there, you can start to look at all the different things they kind of give you for free. So again, this is really great, and it's just a good kind of implementation of the grid system and all that stuff all in one little library that you can link in like this.